What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be reviewing and comparing Spotify and Tidal. Now, I made recent videos comparing Spotify to Apple Music and Spotify to Amazon Music. In those videos, a lot of people requested I compare Spotify to Tidal. Now, Tidal claims to be the superior music app with the best music quality and the best interface. Now, I'm going to dive in this video and figure out if that's actually true. So I downloaded the Tidal music app, and I've been using it exclusively for quite some time now to really dive in and understand everything about the app and decide what I like and don't like about it. I've also read a lot of reviews online and comments from other users comparing and contrasting the two to see what people actually like and what they don't like. So I had the full analysis, everything you need to know about both apps before you choose one. Now, one thing I want to add is this video, like all of my other videos, is totally unsponsored. I am not being paid by Spotify or by Tidal, unfortunately, for this video. So this is really just a true, honest comparison to give you guys the inside information for which is the best music app out there. Okay, so just a really quick, brief intro here for those of you who don't know. Tidal is a much newer music app that claims to have the best audio available. Now, since they were just created in 2014, they've also been bought out by Jay-Z since then, so they're owned by Jay-Z now, and they're competing with Spotify directly. Even though Spotify has been around 8 years longer, and as a result, they have 20 times more users as of today, they are still competing very heavily, and they're up and coming, trying to overtake Spotify in the near future. Now, both have approximately the same library with music, so Spotify and Tidal both have between 30 and 40 million songs, which is honestly so much that at that point it really doesn't matter. They basically have every song you're going to look for. So guys, if at any point in this video you decide you like it or find any value, please go down and click that subscribe and the like button so that more people can see this video and gain the same value out of it that you did. Okay, so let's talk about the interface right now. So here we are on the Tidal app, and so I've been using this for a while, like I said, and one of the things I notice is every time I open it up, I always get Kodak Black right there, Dying to Live. So no matter what, it always ends up being the same thing on the top. So I'm pretty sure those are, recent releases and stuff like that, but overall, it's not going to be things that are necessarily tailored to you. So the algorithm on this is what I've noticed to be a weakness in this app. Now, there's plenty of pluses, but definitely one of the things is it's definitely geared towards if you're interested in rap and mainstream music. So if you go through and you go to explore, like I said, a lot of it is not tailored to you. So it's new stuff, top stuff. Tidal Rising is going to be artists that are on the rise. And so it's not necessarily tailored to your specific type of music that you like. So Spotify is definitely on the contrast there. I'll talk about that in just a second. So you can talk about genres and moods here. So you can choose. So you can say, I really want some metal. You can go there and you'll find, new albums. You'll find, all kinds of different stuff there. So it's definitely very useful if you're looking. You can find the music you're looking for. But I guess what I'm saying is it's not going to be the best algorithm to tailor the music to what you want. So that's one thing I noticed. Also, you have Tidal Rising, like I said. That's going to be up and coming stuff. And then Tidal X is something that's really cool. It's going to be a lot of shows, and you really feel connected to your artist. This is where people between this and Tidal Rising, you'll see a lot of exclusive stuff that artists might release here before other places. So since it's owned by Jay-Z, he and several other major artists like Kanye sometimes release music to here before any other app out there. Okay, so from the main music page, here we are. You'll see at the bottom it says Hi-Fi. That's something important to note because not every song is available in Hi-Fi. Most of them are because that's essentially the same quality as a CD, like I said before. So if you go down to the actual bottom left here, it'll say you can stream to another, whatever device you might have. Right now, I don't have any other devices on there, but this is now, as of recently, compatible with Android TVs. Now, if you go down to the options on the bottom right, you'll see you can add it to your collection, your playlist, whatever, the usual options, but then you also have credits. Now, credits is something really cool because, like I said, this is an app where you feel more connected with your artist, and so when you actually go to credits, you'll be able to see, so just swipe back down, and we're in credits right here. So you can see the credits for who produced it, who was in it, the authors, blah, 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 all the different songs. Then over there, you also have the info, so you can learn more about the albums, and if you're really interested in that, you can find out a lot more about that. So there's also on Spotify as well, but it's just something that's very available on Tidal here. So something else to note, they have about 250,000 music videos out there, so you can go to videos, and they're not always music videos. Sometimes they're live concerts. So right here, a Tidal exclusive. It could be some song, some music video, whatever it might be. It's going to be a lot of times exclusive to Tidal. Now, that's something I've noticed because they claim they have podcasts, and if you actually go to podcasts, let's see if we can actually find shows and podcasts. There aren't actually that many podcasts on here right now. A lot of the main ones that I would listen to are not on here. These are just specific ones made by Tidal or Jay-Z or whoever else is using this app. So once we go over to search, one thing I will say it's a slight negative is that you can't do any voice searching, which is a little bit inconvenient. So when you're actually in the radio, one thing I noticed is that, here, let's pause this, you can't actually like or dislike songs, so it can't optimize your radio for you. As you're listening to the radio, it literally is just whatever they think is similar to this song. All right, guys, now let's hop on over to Spotify. Now, as I said, I made other videos about Spotify, and there's so much here on this app. It's a huge app. I'm not going to go through everything, so what I will go through is some of the top features and functions on this app that I maybe didn't mention in the other videos. Now, if you want to find out more, go check out those other videos. There's really so much about the app for Spotify that I don't have time in this video to mention it all. So here we are on Spotify, and just one thing to mention, first of all, is the taste breakers. That's something I didn't show you last time because I didn't do the year review from Spotify. It actually tells you your top songs of 2018, and taste breakers is something that's really cool. They make a playlist of songs. I've never heard of a single artist on this entire playlist. So you have something like 80 songs here that they sent me, and it's a great way to learn about a lot of new music on there. A huge discovery option that I did not mention in other videos. Something that I did mention in other videos that is really cool about this is you have a lot more podcasts on Spotify. So right there it says you can search podcasts or whatever, and there are tons of podcasts from people that are very famous. So Tim Ferriss. Now another cool thing is the on tour section. You can find out when artists are on tour. You can also follow artists much more closely here. So I follow Neil Young. So whenever he puts out new releases or something, I'll actually learn about that. I'll see it. It'll pop up in my feed, and I'll be able to follow any playlist that he makes and stuff like that. So another cool thing is you can fade between songs. I think that's a very professional thing. So if you go over to settings there in the top right, you can actually go down and there's gapless playback. And I say this in I think every video, but it is such a cool feature in my opinion. They also have so many different settings that you don't have. Like car view is a very cool one that I think is very safe. So when you're using Bluetooth in a car, it'll pop up and look very simple. It won't let you go to all the in-depth options and the words get really big. Other cool things is actually behind the lyrics. So not every song has that, but you can also, like I said, you can like and dislike songs in a radio, which is very cool. You can also report explicit content. So there is a user feedback system that they have if some songs are not appropriate. So the way music is actually stored on a digital device is with ones and zeros. Now, if you're listening with Tidal, it is lossless quality, and you'll have either 16 or 24 bits, meaning 16 or 24 ones and zeros for every piece of audio. Now, if you have 16 ones and zeros, you'll have somewhere in the range of about 65,000 possible volumes you can have at any given point. So if you're listening to Spotify on the flip side, they actually compress their audio, which means they cut out things that they think are similar, and they try to compress the data into something much smaller that represents the overall picture of it. So it's going to sound relatively similar, but the clarity is going to be much more decreased. Can you actually hear the difference between Spotify quality and Tidal quality? The answer is absolutely yes. I've tried it and I actually hear it myself. So you will definitely hear not only a slight volume increase between the two apps, and I think that's just a normalizing volume that they do within the app, but you'll also be able to hear a clarity increase when you're going from Spotify to Tidal. Now that's just with the Tidal Hi-Fi. Okay, so just three quick things I want to talk about the desktop versions of these. Starting off with Spotify, you see the right bar there. I blurred it out, but that has all my friends that I follow. So my friends that I follow, I can see what they're playing real time, and I can listen to what they're playing real time. So I'm actually using them as a DJ for me, or I can click on the playlist they're listening to and find out new music through that way. The second thing that's really cool about the desktop version is also on the mobile version. I just want to point out that you can actually use only one account at a time online. You can actually use three offline, but online use one at a time because the others act as a remote for the first one. So if you have a laptop setting up somewhere playing music, you can control that with your phone. So the third thing I want to talk about is on Tidal. Now the Tidal app on your desktop is not actually that exciting. I'm not going to go into any details there, but if you go to the web player or if you go to read.tidal.com, you can actually find a lot of interviews and playlists made by different artists or interviews of different artists. So it's another cool way you can become more connected with your artists. You learn more about them, and that's something that Tidal definitely brings to the table that Spotify does not. So now let's move on to finding new music. I'm just going to talk basically on this one. So like I said, on Spotify, you have Taste Breakers. You also have the year in review, so it tells you your top songs. That's not really discovering new music, but Taste Breakers definitely is discovering new music. So you also have your daily mix, which you go over. You have 6 different daily mixes based on what you listen to. They're different genres. That is something that by far Spotify owns the game on that. They also have Release Radar, so they'll find artists that you like and tell you what is new based on what you like. You have Discover Weekly. You have so many different programs like that that can really break down what you like in different categories and show you what you're probably going to like from artists that you haven't even heard yet. So not only can you go to an artist radio or a song radio or an album radio, but you can also go to a playlist radio, which is something that's really cool. So if you make a playlist of a bunch of songs that you really really like, this ends up working out a lot like Pandora, how you can add a whole bunch of different seeds. Say, I like this song and this song and this song, find something that's like all three of them. And it does that very well. Now, discovering music on Tidal is a little bit different than on Spotify. So it's not so much discovering different music that you didn't know existed yet, as much as it is discovering new music as it comes out. So as I said, this is a lot of mainstream music. You can definitely tell it's owned by Jay-Z and generally the rap industry as a whole, because a lot of the music out there is very mainstream music. So if you're into that, this is definitely a great way to find new music. They'll have exclusive releases where you can find the newest music there. Another way you can find new music, like I said before, is if you swipe that way, it'll tell you suggested tracks based on, you know, what that music that you're listening to is. There's Tidal X, there's billboards. You can have artist-made playlists, so a lot of artists that are exclusive ones on here. So maybe like Jay-Z, who owns it, or some of his friends. So maybe you have Kanye, so an artist that uses Tidal a lot and tries to encourage people to use Tidal will make, you know, their own playlists and stuff like that. Now, the actual pricing is pretty simple. The way it works is Spotify has an actual free version. So if you don't pay for Spotify at all, you'll have an ad-supported version. You'll listen to ads, but you don't have to pay for the service at all. So that's one thing. You can also do family plans for about $15 a month. You can do a student plan for somewhere between $5 and $6 a month. You can do a student plan that also comes with Hulu for about the same price, or you can do the standard plan, which is about $10 per month. Now, these prices change from time to time, but over the course of the past few years, it's been approximately the same. Now, Tidal on the flip side has been $10 a month for the standard/low quality version of the app. But if you pay a full $20, you actually get hi-fi music, and on your desktop, you get the master's version available. So, you know, the pricing there is a lot more expensive if you use Tidal. But if you're really interested in music quality, and if you're really interested in mainstream music and stuff like that, then it's definitely, you know, a good option. So which one is actually the best for you? Well, if you are somebody who's interested in the social aspect, so maybe sharing playlists, making collaborative playlists, seeing what other people listen to, then Spotify is definitely the one for you. And likewise, Spotify is the one for you if you are interested in a very small niche music and you want to find more of it. The algorithm with Spotify is way better for finding new music that's not mainstream. Also, if you want to see the free version, if you want to follow artists, or if you want more podcasts, those are three other great reasons to use Spotify. So on the flip side, if you're talking about Tidal, you know, Tidal is great if you're an audiophile. If you really have high quality speakers and headphones and you really hear the difference and you really care a lot about that, then you definitely want to go with Tidal. It'll be worth the extra money for you. Likewise, if you're interested in mainstream music and you want to feel like a VIP, like you're connected to your artists, you're getting the first release, you're going to hear the newest songs before anyone else, then Tidal might be the one for you. If you're a big music follower, so you really want to see like the earliest release ever, then definitely Tidal's another one if your artists are some of the early release artists on Tidal. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click that subscribe button right there. If you want to see another video just like this one, click right there. And for my most recent upload, click right up there. You got three great options, guys. Click on any one of those and I'll see you in the next video.